I want to know, growing up in New York, what skills did you learn back then that you can use in your everyday life of today?
I was born in Brooklyn, New York, right? And I grew up I made my bones on Staten Island, as they say. I come from a place in Brooklyn called Brownsville. It says Brownsville, never ran, never will. And that's something I keep with me. I don't run away from my problems or situations. I'm not afraid to face what's in front of me. And because of that skill set and that determination, when I'm approached with something new, like for instance, when I have to compose a Hollywood film and I have to control music for an 80-piece orchestra, I didn't back down. And I made some blunders, yo. You know, I would think that one of the biggest things you can learn from growing up in the ghetto is that you're gonna lose sometime, whether the bigger guys bully you or somebody tough or whether the police chase you for whatever you're doing. But I learned to invest in loss. Now I will share that with the young people out there. You know, if you lose but you live to fight another day, then learn from your loss. You know what I mean? Learn from your loss.
Let's talk about your RZA quotes, the very interesting quotes. Where did the idea come from, and what does it mean to you to give that knowledge to people?
But one thing I was faced growing up with was, like, I was faced with the problem of nobody giving me a chance, and nobody kind of, just giving me that helping hand that I needed sometimes. A single mother, so my father was absent a lot. And I turned to friends and things like that. But for the few people who did give me a hand, one being the Jizza, my cousin, who gave me knowledge of myself, told me, yo, you got to study mathematics, and then growing up into manhood and being around certain mentors like John Woo, who gave me advice, or Jim Jarmusch, Quentin Tarantino, Quincy Jones, Isaac Hayes. These great men took the time to share some wisdom with me that helped better me. So I feel obligated. There's only respectful that I share my experience and my wisdom so a young person can have a better chance to navigate through this crazy life we're in. We live in the Western world, which is a capitalist society. And in capitalism, you must learn to capitalize on certain things. And if you don't have some kind of knowledge or keys to recognize, you're going to miss the boat every time. So when I do my Tao of Wu and my quotes, I'm trying to instill mental knowledge and mental weapons inside of young people's heads so that when they're faced with it in the reality of life, they at least can think about something and have some kind of defense to counter these crazy attacks that will come at you in life. On the Wu-Tang first album, we said in front of the song Chess Box, and it says, a game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first before you move. Well, that same thing applies to life, because life is like a game of chess. And you should think before you do things. And if the young people out there can have an analytical mind by preparing themselves, by knowing before doing, they should be able to accomplish and do things better because you know what you're doing. You're not just jumping out there, teenage pregnancy because the girl didn't realize that she could have said no to that guy and waited another week or month or a year. Or teenage crime and young people getting locked up in jail, getting 25 years for shooting somebody or robbery, and they didn't realize that 2 minutes or that 2 seconds of foolishness could have been thought out to something positive, and they could have escaped the penalties of their foolishness.
I know you have a love for the martial arts, kung fu. How important is that aspect in your life today? Because you grew up also watching a lot of the kung fu movies.
Martial arts, I think, is another important part of human development. If you think about martial arts and Shaolin Temple, which is where my martial arts stem from, you're looking at a tradition that's close to 2,000 years old. And actually, they could trace it back longer when they go deep into India and back to Kemet, Egypt, and Ethiopia, and they could really trace this form of training back to early man. And it prepares man. It strengthens his body and it strengthens his mind. Because you could train your mind and have a weak body, and then you lose because your body is weak. Or you could have a strong body and have a weak mind and lose because your mind is weak. Martial art is the training of mind, body, and spirit. These are the three major principles of martial art, and I continue it to this day.
I appreciate the interview, eh?
Thanks, Malik.
Okay, good, man.